Okay. Hello, everyone, and welcome to our 4 p.m. class here. It's good to be with you all and to be in this practice. So to start, I invite you to just get present with yourself in this moment, to find your comfortable seat and settle into that. You might close your eyes to help take out the external stimuli and centering your awareness on your body and all your states of being and experience that might be present with you, mental, emotional, physical, spiritual, energetically, everything that's here now. And just settle into your space, into this moment. We'll witness the thoughts that come up and all the distractions that take us out of this awareness of our body and our now and our practice. And as they come up, inviting you to let them go and not need to solve those problems now or dwell on the befores or the laters, but just come back to our now whenever we notice that. And as we take our attention to our body, let's take a big deep breath in and use our breath to help ground us as well. So inhaling full here and exhaling, letting it go. Another big full breath in, noticing all the spaces that fill and expand with that new fresh air, and letting it go. Feeling the softening and the releasing of that work as we let the breath go. And one more big full breath in, letting it go. And then just allowing yourself to breathe however you breathe. And taking ourselves through a quick body scan. So bringing our awareness to the crown of our head. And then we might imagine like a big vat of honey is being poured over the crown of our head and down our bodies. And so with that imaginary honey that's filtering down through our bodies, you might have visual imagery for that or not, or smells. Just taking our awareness with that slowly seeping honey and letting it kind of seep into us and settle us down, ground us in. So taking our awareness down through our face, our external head, the skin and hair and features, and also the inside of the head, our bones and brains and eyeballs and everything that's on the inside, seeping down slowly with that golden honey, that sticky resin, and following that slow syrup down through our throats and neck, taking our awareness down with that golden honey light, just noticing what we notice through our neck and throat, down to the collarbones and down over our shoulders and down the arms, this honey slowly sliding down, grounding us in down to the elbows, down through our forearms, to our wrists, our hands, our fingers. And maybe that honey flows from the fingers and arms into other parts of the body that we might be connected with there, touching, noticing those connections. And coming back up to our shoulders and back with that honey as it comes down through our torso. Again, that inside and outside, front to back and side to side, and all that space in between. To our heart and our lungs. And as we breathe, we might notice the breath in those places through the torso. We might also imagine that this honey is inviting our presence to sort of stick into ourselves. So our thoughts might be bouncing all around. Our energy could be all scattered throughout the day in this room, and allowing that honey to just seep ourselves, into this present moment and body, following that honey awareness down through our tummies and into the pelvis. Maybe that honey oozing down through the sit bones into the ground beneath us, allowing us to ground down into the earth beneath us, feeling that connection with the earth. And then letting that honey flow down through the legs, thighs, to the knees, and down through the calves and shins, noticing bones, muscle, space between, to our ankles, heels, the feet, soles of the foot, top of the feet, to the toes, allowing the honey to ooze in the spaces between your toes, maybe even under the toenails, all around the base of the toes. Maybe it tickles the bottom of the feet. And now allowing yourself to rest with this whole honeyed body you've got here, inside to out, just resting in this little cocoon of awareness we've created for ourselves right here and now. Maybe tasting or smelling that sweetness of presence. Or the discomfort of it, of the awareness, what we're noticing. It's being with everything that's here with you. As you rest in your here and now, in your presence and body, you might allow an intention to float up to the surface for you, dedication for your practice, a why that you are here. And with that, I will offer up my dedication and exploration for practice today. I'm arriving here from a walk with a friend where we mostly discussed COVID and the vaccinations and just kind of this whole experience our world has been going through this time. And there was an idea, a theme that came up towards the end, this phrase in my mind, to rest in the we. And so something I've noticed throughout our COVID experience has been this witnessing of our interconnectedness, this incredible interconnectedness in our smaller, closer to ourselves community, and in this whole global community that we are, that this virus can spread so quickly to so many. And with that, just truly demonstrating this human interconnection that we have, but also mirroring our greater interconnections that we have with the earth and all these systems that we are a part of. But in our culture, we often look at the individual self and think of it that way. But my friend spoke to our collective immune system, and really looking at just treating the individual and just thinking about my immune system, the state of my health, or that I have a vaccination and am safe. It doesn't really work that way. What really works is when we take care of the whole of all of us, and it's not just about the me. And this idea of this collective immune system just really struck me, and also the part that I get to play in that. So as I'm thinking about our yoga practice today and thinking about that as building up my own inner health and strength and immune system, thinking about how me doing that is maybe supporting the greater immune system that I'm a part of, thinking about all of my choices that I might make or participate in, and seeing how does that making them not just for myself, but for our whole that I'm a part of. And so that is my invitation to us, is to come into, to play with this resting awareness of the we that we're part of, and that interplay of what's it like when I'm looking at this world for this little human being that I am, and then what does it look like when I see myself as part of this whole? How does that change? And maybe it's this big or this small whole of my family and my immediate community, or this island that I live on. Maybe it's this bigger whole of this whole world. So that's our play and invitation today. Let's do a few collective breaths here together. Invite you with your inhale, you might open the arms out wide and expand the chest. And then with the exhale, bringing the hands closer in together towards the navel, and then drawing them up towards the throat. And then we'll exhale, reversing that, drawing them down towards the navel and out. Inhale, bringing the hands in and up. And exhale, down and out, just gathering ourselves together here. And then melting out like that honey. Drawing in, expanding out. Let's do two more. Settling the breath, settling the hands and the heart. We'll open our class with 3 ohms. You might bring hands together, palms together at heart center. Let's take a breath in all together. Let it go. Inhaling for Om. 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 Gently awakening our eyes. And let's bring our right leg out long in front of us. And draw the left foot in towards the body and towards that thigh, wherever it wants to go. If it's uncomfortable for the knee to have the leg in that position, welcome to bring a blanket or support under that bent knee. We'll ground down through the sit bones. You might just even grabbing the flesh underneath and pulling that back to sit up tall, root down through those sit bones, just grounding here and just even feeling this initial stretch just with that sit. Tipping the hips a little bit forward, opening the chest. And then we'll turn to face that long leg, inhaling tall, grounding down through the sit bones, up through the crown, and then exhaling, folding forward towards that long leg, folding at the hips and allowing the hands to go wherever they're going to go. Maybe they stay closer towards the thigh, the ground just right out in front of you, or maybe you want to explore extending the hands down towards that long foot, just seeing where that goes. Exploring our awareness down through our hips and how we're experiencing that stretch there, and down through that leg, underneath the knee, all the way to the calf, the ankle. Exploring the interconnectedness just within our own body. You might play with drawing the toes in towards the head. See how just changing the toes and ankles changes that whole experience of the stretch through the leg. and pointing toes away, what happens there. And let's do one more breath down here. And then walk ourselves back upright. Inhale full here. And exhale, twist to the left. So the direction of that bent knee, fingertips tenting up on the floor, just giving us a good stretch here, a good twist. And with that long leg, you might actively keep a slight outward rotation. So the opposite direction that your torso is going. So you can get that stretch going all the way down through the groin here. And then if you like, you can stay elevated with the upper body here, or you might explore what happens if I were to extend my upper body down towards the floor here, towards the knee, and just playing with that journey of stretch and what that might offer you. If you want to do that or stay up high. And we'll come up if you've lowered the upper body, inhaling full. Let's exhale, twist back towards center. Then we'll bring our left hand down to the outside of that bent knee. And we're going to do a little twist here to the side. So inhaling and exhale, we'll lift that right arm up high to the sky and tip over to the left. And that left hand, maybe you bend the elbow and bring forearm down to the earth, really opening up through the side body, trying to stay grounded through that right hip on the earth. So we open up through our whole side. Maybe our gaze goes skyward as we peek under that arm. You might open the chest more towards the sky and have a more open posture here, or maybe you stay more oriented towards the legs out in front of you. You can see how that feels through the back and chest and side. And that hand might droop down, maybe it stays up. Every little change we make affecting changes all throughout the rest of this stretching experience. And inhale back up through center. Exhale, release that hand down to the earth. Roll out the shoulders a little bit here from that. And then we'll switch sides with our legs. So sending our left leg out long, drawing the right foot in towards that thigh, seeing how this just initial entry into this shape feels if we want to support under that bent knee, adjusting, pulling flesh out under the sit bones, grounding down, rising up, opening the chest, drawing shoulder blades back and down, just noticing all the micro stretches that might be going on just before we even bend, just arriving in this shape. And then we'll turn towards that long leg, inhaling full. And exhale, we'll fold forward towards the foot, towards the leg. And again, just an exploratory journey here. Hands might stay closer in towards the body. We might stay a little more elevated and just take our awareness here in the hip and groin, or maybe we walk the hands forward, maybe we bow forward with the head and chest. And notice all the places through the leg, the back, the side, the chest, the spine that we can experience through this shape and playing in this shape. Again, the option to gas pedal that foot, sending toes away from the body or drawing them back in. Noticing how even our breath can change our experience in this pose. We're holding it on tight versus if we can let go. And when we let go of that tension of the breath, what changes through the body? One more breath down here. And then walking the hands back in, upper body back up. Recentering, facing forward. We'll take an inhale here. And exhale, twist right, the direction of that bent leg. And again, that option to more just focus on the twist, staying elevated, maybe coming in and out of that twist with your breath. Or if you want to play with the folding, seeing what happens when you invite the upper body down. Coming down to forearms. And again, noticing that long leg, maybe keeping a slight outer rotation on that leg. We'll come back up if you've lowered. And recenter. We'll bring the right hand out to the side again. Inhale the left arm up high. And exhale, tip to the left, grounding down through the legs. We can start with just a little bend of that lower elbow. And then maybe that forearm wants to come all the way down to the earth, rooting down through our left hip and growing up out of that rooting, stretching out of there. That even the shoulder's ability to stretch out comes from how deeply that hip is rooting down. Maybe the chest opens towards the sky, or maybe we explore a more closed, rounding stretch here with our orientation towards the earth. No right or wrong, just different places to explore and be with. We'll inhale up through center. And exhale, let it go. Roll out the shoulders from that big stretch there. Let's bring both feet out in front of us, bending the knees. Can bring hands back behind the hips slightly for support. Can draw the shoulder blades back and sort of arch through the back, opening the chest, maybe bending the elbows slightly. That would expand that stretch there, drawing shoulder blades together, a little stretch through that, the shoulders, the upper back. And then we'll come back up to center, do a little swishing side to side with our legs. So windshield wipering one way to the other, with legs moving in the same direction at the same time. Letting go of a bit of that hip work we were just doing. Let's come on down to our backs, rolling our way down there. We'll have our feet on the floor, knees bent, walking the feet in a little closer towards the body is where that's comfortable. Arms can rest down alongside the body. We'll start with some pelvic tilts here. So tipping the pelvis down in towards the earth, as if you were a dog, tucking your tail down, and then tipping the pelvis up. So starting with just this small movement, micro movements in our hips, taking our awareness there. And then let's expand that movement into a bridge. So tipping down, and then we'll roll up the pelvis and then start rolling up the spine. Maybe you can take your awareness up vertebrae by vertebrae as the lower back lifts, the mid back coming to rest up on the shoulders, pressing the hip bones up towards the sky. Again, by means of that rooting. So rooting down through the feet, pressing feet into the earth. And as they press down, kind of like a seesaw, the hips and back can rise. Breathing here at the top of your bridge. And with your next exhale, we'll make our way back down to the earth. Releasing the shoulder blades out from under the back, melting down through the spine. Again, you might see if you can take your awareness vertebrae by vertebrae all the way down to the hips, to the pelvis. Take that tip again, Let's do a few waves. You can go at your own pace if you want to move fluidly through these bridges a little faster. If you want to go a little slower and hang out at the top, you're welcome to do that way. Just coming in tune with your own body and playing with the bridge. And you're welcome to keep playing with this bridge, or if you'd like to take a variation, we're going to take our right leg, draw that knee in towards the chest, and then cross that right ankle along the left thigh. So we form that figure 4 shape. And we'll continue doing the bridge now with this figure 4 situation going on. Noticing what we notice as far as how it changes the stretch through our body, how it changes our experience of balance and whatever work we might be doing to maintain that balance. And again, your option if you want to continue moving fairly fluidly and continuously with these bridge lifts, or if you want to experience just maintaining that full bridge wherever your full bridge is. And then I'm going to do one more round of the bridge on this side, and then we'll switch sides. So if you're following along with me, we'll bring the right foot down now, hug the left knee into the chest, and then cross that ankle along the opposite thigh, root down through that right foot. Do that pelvic tilt, and then begin our lift, tipping up and noticing what we notice on this side. It might be a very similar experience, or maybe it's different, either in the stretching or the balancing or the strength activation. And if you aren't already, maybe noticing how your breath may or may not be linked with your movement, and can you connect them if they aren't already? One more round of this bridge motion. Coming back down to the earth. And then reaching for, if you've got the figure 4, reaching for that right thigh and drawing it in towards the chest. Might rock side to side a little bit here. And then we'll bring that down, planting that foot on the floor, uncross the legs, and we'll do that on the other side. So taking the right knee, hugging it into the chest, and then crossing that foot across the top of the thigh, or the base of the thigh, towards the knee. And then reaching hands for that left thigh, and then draw the legs in towards the chest, hugging it in. And maybe a little rock side to side here. And we'll release that back down to the earth, uncross the legs. One more figure 4 here, or windshield wiper side to side, this time on our backs. And then we'll center the legs, center the knees here. And then let's bring our hands up and behind our heads and place palms on the floor, kind of to the outside of the ears. So fingertips facing back towards the shoulders, elbows in the air. And we're going to ground down through our feet, and then option to move into a wheel here, if you please, or just play with the journey there. So we'll ground through the feet, and as we ground through the feet, the hips are going to lift. and kind of coming back up into that bridge shape, but now with the hands back towards the ears. And that might be as far as we go here. Or you might start placing more and more weight into the hands. And as you do, the shoulders can lift up more off of the earth, more weight equally through both feet, the hands lifting up. We might come more towards the crown of the head, but being mindful not to put too much weight there into the head as we lift hips and shoulders, and playing with wherever you are on this journey. You can press all the way into hands. Maybe the head can lift up all the way off the earth, opening the belly up towards the sky, gaze back towards the earth, kind of a few feet out in front of the hands. Being wherever you are in this journey towards this shape. And then we'll come back down, bending arms, gaze comes back up towards the sky, so the back of the head can rest on the floor, and then shoulders, and then melting the back down onto the earth, hips. We're going to bring hands back down towards the legs, and let's hug the knees into the chest, both legs, a little rock side to side, and kind of melt out the back from that little stretch we just did, rocking side to side. And then back to our center. We're going to place feet on the floor again and play with that shape once more, wherever you want to go with it. So feet are rooted down, bringing the hands out towards the head, and then placing fingertips on the floor facing the shoulders, elbows in the air, and rooting down through all 4 stable points, through both feet, through both hands. And as we feel that pressure meeting the earth, there's probably going to be a natural rise of the hips in response to that pressure. So lifting hips, the back, maybe shoulders, maybe head, and coming up wherever we're going to go up here. Breathing here. Feeling your strength as you press down into the earth. Inverting perspective. And then let's come on back down again. So taking our gaze back up towards the sky, bending the elbows, bringing the head and shoulders back down to the earth, slowly releasing the back and spine. And then once more, last time we'll draw both knees into the chest, give a little rock, undo that stretch, letting it go. And then let's roll over onto one side as we rock here, come to our hands and knees. Take a few cat-cows, so wrists under shoulders, knees under hips. Inhaling, we look forward, we open the chest, and exhale, we round it. Noticing how these cat-cows feel in light of all those stretches we just did, moving through our back. And noticing if there's particular parts of your back that are asking for some extra articulation. Maybe it's the upper back around the shoulders, or the mid back or the low back. So feeling free to really get into those places that are asking for that attention, and getting creative with that. If you want to move side to side, roll it out. Moving between that belly drop and the belly rise. Gazing back towards the navel and then out ahead of you. Couple more breaths with this. And then we'll find our center. And tucking toes if they're tucked, slight bend in the elbows. Engaging the navel, so we're imagining our torso might be parallel with the earth. Just aiming for that centered point. Again, feeling that grounding through the knees, through the hands. If this is too much pressure on the knees and you've got a blanket with you, feel free to bring one under there, adding that support, taking care of yourself. And then we're going to inhale, lift the right arm and the left leg. You might even play with just taking the weight off of it if it's too much. But we can explore coming all the way into arm and leg parallel with the earth here. And as we do that, we're engaging the navel, engaging our strength. We might try some circles here, circling arm and leg, drawing that strength up and in. Reverse your circles. Try to keep breathing. And then we'll bring those down. Cat-cow between sides, inhaling, dropping the belly. Exhaling, rounding. Inhaling back to center, finding that neutral, strong, grounded place. Once you feel that grounding, go ahead and lift the left arm out in front. It's okay if maybe it's just a hover, maybe that hand is popping up and down, wherever it's going to be. And then that back right leg, lifting that. Imagining these might be parallel with the earth, aiming towards that direction. And then again, you might stay here, or maybe you try those circles, circle-ish motions. Might be circle shapes that maybe a 2-year-old might draw if they were drawing circles with a crayon. Enjoying that idea of the imperfect circle and reversing, allowing ourselves to have these new ideas about perfect, and arms straight out, legs straight out, and releasing down to the earth. Another cat-cow. And coming to your neutral place, that strong place again. And we'll inhale, lift the right back leg again. We're going to stay here with just that back leg lifted for a moment. And then playing with shifting our weight more into the left side, so into that left hand. So previously we lifted the left hand. Now we're going to play with lifting the right hand and that experience of the shift in balance. So we might just come up onto fingertips with that right hand and explore that journey of a shift of balance. Or you might play with lifting that hand up all the way off of the earth and reaching out forward in front of you, or even opening up towards the sky. That back foot can relax down into the earth, offering you a little more surface area against the ground. So wherever you might be in this journey, this hand could be anywhere. It's just decoration. We're just playing with balance and exploring the strength here, keeping a slight bend in that supporting arm, that elbow. And wherever we're at, let's bring that top arm back down to the earth. Keep that back leg lifted for a minute. And maybe exhale, bending the elbows, lowering the chest down towards the earth, continuing to engage the navel. Inhale here. And exhale, press hands into the earth, lift the chest back up. And then release the back knee down to the earth. Cat-cow here in between sides. Inhaling, dropping the belly, chest goes forward. And exhale, round. One more cat-cow. Back to center. Finding that equal grounding between both hands, both knees. And then we're going to inhale, lift the left leg up and back. And then slowly shifting our weight over into the right side, more of that right hand. And then playing with lightness in the left hand, maybe just tenting up onto fingertips as we explore that shift and being in that balance back and forth across what feels like center and stable. And maybe we explore lifting up for a few inches and a few seconds. Maybe we can reach that arm out long in front of us. Maybe we explore opening up the side body over to our left. Wherever you want to be in this exploration, and knowing that the floor is just a few inches away if we need to crash down, with a nice soft mat here for us, and falling is a part of that balance and that exploration. Bring the top hand back down. And then again, you might just stay here. Maybe you explore that little push up where we bend the elbows and lower the chest down towards the earth. Inhaling down at the bottom. And exhale, pressing hands into the earth, extending the arms, chest lifts. And then we'll bring that back foot back down, cat-cow here. Inhaling back to center. Let's send the knees back a couple inches each. Tuck the toes, press hands into the floor, and exhale, sending the hips up and back, coming to our downward dog. First dog of our practice. So adjust your stride as necessary if you need to be a little longer or shorter. And then let's go ahead and pedal it out. So bending one foot, or bending one knee while we straighten the other, and going back and forth between bringing one heel to the ground and then the other. All the while trying to send those hips backwards, back behind us. So if you wanted to touch your booty to the wall behind you, or the tree behind you, as might be my case. And then we're going to shift our weight forward so shoulders are over wrists. As you arrive here, you might find you need to adjust your stride again. I need to come a little longer for this. Drawing our navel up towards our spine, slight bend in the elbows, and lower the knees to the earth, untuck the toes, and then exhale, we'll lower the chest all the way down to the earth. Hands are light on the floor, and inhale, the chest lifts, coming to our cobra, and keep breathing here. Drawing the shoulder blades back and down. Then we'll press the hands into the floor, tuck the toes, and noticing just as we prepare for this transition, just as we've made those two slight changes, we've pressed the hands into the floor, we've tucked the toes, noticing how the rest of your body responds, preparing to move back into down dog. So we've taken that. And inhale full, and exhale, we'll send our hips back and up, pressing hands into the earth. The heels come back down towards the earth. We can pedal it out again. You might explore what happens if you try to send both heels down towards the earth, just where you're at in that stretch right now. And then we'll plant the left foot. Inhale, the right up and back. So we've got one leg down, one leg up. We might bend that knee and really open up the hips to that side. And reorienting. So our gaze is centered between the hands. The torso is even with the earth, and that way we'll send that foot back as far as we can in spaces. If you're trying to point those toes and touch them with the wall behind you, full breath in, and exhale, step that foot as far forward as you can go with it. And we're going to work that foot we just stepped forward to the outside of the same side hand. So the foot can inch forward, the hands can move back. If we do that, maybe the back foot wants to bump back a little bit. And then here, if you have blocks and you want to bring them under the hands to help support you in this shape, you're welcome to. We'll just hang out here for a moment. You can explore lowering the hips down towards the earth and getting into a pretty big hip stretch there through the pelvis, or you might wish to explore more your strength in this shape, pressing hands down and drawing the hips up, engaging the navel, and being with your breath. And we're going to plant the left hand pretty solidly here. So if you're tented up, seeing if you can bring that palm down to the earth. It's fine to stay tented up as well, or on a block. We're going to inhale the right hand up towards the sky, so twisting towards that front leg. Hand might rest on the thigh, come to the hip, be up in the sky. It might even be staying down on the floor in this twist, just wherever you're going to go. We'll bring that hand back down to the earth. And we're going to move this foot to the inside of the hands. Our hands can come to the outside of that foot. And we're going to bring the back foot forward, coming to a forward fold. However we get there, and allowing ourselves to hang heavy here. Slight bend in the knees. A little sway. Deep bend in the knees and inhale, rise. Bringing the arms up overhead, gaze is skyward, coming to stand. Slight bend in the back. And then exhale, drawing hands together, bringing them down through heart center, gaze forward. Taking a full breath here to arrive in this new orientation, standing, grounding through our feet. We're going to release our hands. We're going to shift our weight over into the left foot, bending that knee slightly, allowing the right foot to grow light as we really ground down, root down through that left foot. Coming into tree. We might take that right heel just above the ankle of that standing leg. Maybe we bring it up to the calf or the thigh. So finding wherever you want to explore here and bringing both legs to meet one another. So the foot meeting the leg meeting the foot. Arms wherever they're going to be, out to the side in prayer, up to the sky, holding on to a chair. If you've got a favorite mudra that your hands want to make, taking that mudra. Wrapping shoulder blades back and down. Seeing if we can come to a restful place with our breath. Letting our gaze be another anchor for our balance and stability here. If we can find a fixed point to stick with, to come back to, that can help be a little tether to help us balance. One more breath in this tree. And then we'll let that go. You might shake it out a little bit. Shake out the shoulders and arms too, might as well. Move it all. And then we're going to step back with the right leg. So the left foot is forward, lining up our heels here. The back foot pivoted out slightly, coming into a lunge here. And bending that front knee, sinking down in the hips. Drawing shoulder blades back and down. And we'll inhale both arms up towards the sky, gaze is skyward. And then exhale, turning opening up to warrior two. Arms come parallel with the earth, floating here forward and back. And then we'll flip our front palm of that left arm and then exhale, tip it all back. Really grounding down through that front leg, strong through that thigh, rooting through the foot. Through that rooting, we can stretch up and out through the side. Inhale back through center, arms parallel again. And then exhale, we'll release the arms, turn to face that front leg again. And then our back foot, we're going to pivot to come up on the toes, the balls of the foot. So the heel is lifted now. And all of our toes are in alignment, facing forward, sinking down with our hips again here. And then we're going to play with a little springing motion. So you might adjust your stride, whether it's shorter or longer for what's feeling comfortable with you. And play with sending that back heel down towards the earth and lifting it up forward and kind of springing your body forward. And then as you do, maybe you gain a little air in that back foot. Maybe the toes lift up an inch or so, and you feel that weight shift into that front foot, the work through that front thigh. So playing with that, and then eventually seeing if you can come up all the way off of that back foot to stand and rest just on that front leg. Arms might float back behind you. A little bit of a bird or a plane or a Superman situation here. And then we can come back down with that back foot back into our lunge and moving with that. So maybe we just stick with exploring that little spring, maybe the foot coming up just an inch or so. And then exploring if we want to come to a full stand on that front leg. Exploring your balance here. You might extend the upper body forward, seeing if the chest can become parallel with the earth below. Arms might be out to the side for support. So a lot of places we can journey in this shape and in this movement as we explore our strength and our balance and these transitions. Let's do just a few more breaths of this play. And then coming back down, back to that lunge place. Inhaling both arms up high to the sky. And then exhale, we're gonna fold forward towards that front knee. Rooting down through that front foot, we're gonna step the back foot forward, coming into a fold. Hanging here. Walking hands around to the left, tacking the right hip back. And then walking the hands around to the right, tacking the left hip back. Coming back through center, deep bend in the knees. Inhale, arms rise up overhead. And exhale, hands down through heart center. Then making sure you're at the top of your space so you've got room behind you. We'll inhale, arms up high again. And exhale, fold. Inhaling, stepping the left foot back long. Hold the breath, the right to match. And then exhale, lower down the knees, untuck the toes, bending the arms, bringing the chest down to the earth. Inhale, lifting the chest. And again, let's hang out here. So continue breathing. Drawing shoulder blades down. Seeing where your curve in the back is here. If you've got any more lift in the chest, you bob with your breath. Connecting with that breath in your belly as it moves against the earth. Maybe coming back to your dedication or intention for this practice today. Exploring the interconnectedness even just within our own bodies. And then preparing for our transition, we'll tuck our toes, press hands into the floor. And again, awareness through that transition, just in those two subtle changes, what has moved throughout your body. And then pressing deeper with the hands, our exhale will lift our hips up and back to our downward dog, pedal it out. Check in with bringing both heels down towards the earth and see how that feels. Shorten or lengthen the stride as feels better for you. And then we'll plant the right foot. Inhale the left up high and back as if you want to touch the toes to something behind you, sending the hips back in space. You might bend that knee, opening up to the side slightly. And then if the upper body twisted a bit with that movement, going ahead and reorienting so shoulders are even with one another. The gaze is centered between the hands. And then we'll send that foot back as far as we can, straightening the leg, pointing the toes. Inhale, full. And exhale, step that foot forward as far as it can go. Again, hands might come to blocks if that's helpful. And we're going to work that foot to the outside of the hands. Hands can work their way back towards the foot, and the back foot might bump itself back out a bit. And then again, just arriving in this shape for yourself and letting that arrival be a continual arrival, not simply a I've landed and now I'm here. So maybe we drop the hips, we explore what that stretch is like for us. Maybe we play more with the strength and we press down through both feet, through the hands, we engage the thigh and the core. We use our breath as another mode of strength for ourselves. We can use our thoughts as another mode of strength for ourselves, noticing whatever talk might be going on inside about what we can or cannot do, or judgments about how well we are, and we can change it, and we can speak to our strength. We can declare it. While being honest in witnessing whatever experiences we're experiencing, comfortable or uncomfortable, and also taking note, making any adjustments that our bodies need and are directing us towards. And then we'll go ahead and take that twist again. So planting the right hand, whether that hand comes all the way down to the blocker floor, it stays tented up, is up to you of what feels stable and comfortable. And the left hand will grow light. Maybe we just stay there with that balance and strength, or maybe we bring it into a twist and twist towards that front leg, open towards the side, hand wherever it's going to be, thigh, hip, air, back down towards earth or block. We can also, in our self-talk, acknowledge simply our effort of work that we're putting in, how hard that we are trying. And coming back down through center, top hand, down to the floor. And then we'll work the foot back between the hands. Hands might tent up to give our bodies some more room for this transition. We can lift our hips high and then bring that back foot forward. It might take several little hops, however we get there. Coming into a forward fold hang, being loose with that. Sending the hips back in space. We'll walk fingertips forward. Walking might mean the fingertips are actually on the ground. It might mean that they're just hanging out in space out in front of us. Bending the knees as much as we like here, but really working with those opposite directions of hips back and hands out long in front of us, and experiencing the stretch that gives us all through the legs. And then we'll release that work, bending the knees, hands coming back in towards the body, root down through both feet, and inhale, rise, arms up. Exhale, hands down through heart center. Full breath here. Exhale, releasing through the shoulders, letting the hands go. And we'll take our shape on the other side, or tree first. So we'll shift our way over into the right foot, let the left grow light. And then maybe first we just bring the heel up over the ankle. Maybe that foot comes to calf or thigh, wherever that's going to be for you. As we arrive, drawing our shoulder blades back, finding our steady gaze, noticing if our toes are clenched, can we unclench those toes and spread out that foot as much as possible, even if it's just in our imaginations. This idea of the foot spreading and widening, the idea that spreading from inner heel towards pinky toe is going to give you a more grounded foot here. Bigger anchor. Settling with our breath, our tension. And then we'll let that go, bringing the top leg down, shaking it out. Legs, arms, feet, head, whatever wants to shake, the hips. And then coming to the top of your space, you've got room to work behind you. We're going to send the left foot back and coming into that those warrior legs, bending the front knee and just arriving in this shape at first as we sink the hips. Inhale, arms up high to the sky. Exhale, drop the shoulders down the back. Inhale, fold. Exhale, open up to the side, arms opening up parallel with the floor. And then we'll flip that front palm, exhale, tip the upper body back, opening up the side towards the sky. Inhale back through center, floating the arms. And exhale, release the arms, turn to face that front leg. We'll make that transition with the back foot again, coming up onto the balls of the foot there and sinking the hips, playing with that sensation of dropping the heel down towards the earth and lifting it up, and playing with that springing forward sensation, that spring energy we can create within ourselves. And then again, playing with our little hops here. So maybe we just take the toes up 1/2 inch off the floor, playing with that shift we can experience in the body, the shift it creates for both the actions of strength and also balance. And if you like, as you're comfortable and feel like exploring, maybe you come all the way up to just that front foot, the back foot lifts. Maybe we can bring that leg parallel with the earth, and the chest can lower down towards the earth, towards a parallel motion as well. Just playing with the shape, with the movement, with the process, the journey. All parts of it worthy and rich, fruitful. Connecting with your breath, staying connected with it. One more full breath wherever we're at with this. And then we'll bring the foot back down to the earth. Inhale, arms up high. And exhale, release the arms. Go ahead and step the back foot forward. Inhale, arms up high. Exhale, fold. Hanging long here. And then we'll bring hands down to the earth, bending the knees, stepping one leg back long, and then the other, drawing up the navel, slight bend in the elbows, and then release the knees to the earth, untuck the toes, lower the chest. Inhale, chest lifts. Breathing here, connecting with your breath. And then we'll release the chest all the way down to the earth and roll over onto our backs. Noticing your new points of connection with the earth below. We're going to draw the right leg into the chest, hugging that knee in. Might come out slightly to the side of the chest, or you might keep it centered. Just exploring those options and what they have to offer you. And then we can take that leg and cross it over the body to the other side, stretching that leg out long, and then dropping the right shoulder down in the opposite direction, back towards the earth, opening up. And we'll do one more breath on this side. And then we'll bring that leg back in towards center, hug that knee in one more time. And then exhaling, sending that leg out long. Maybe a little swish of the legs side to side here. And then inhale, draw the left knee in towards the chest, hugging it in. Again, you might just keep it there centered on your chest. Maybe you explore taking out to the side a little bit and see what that has for you. Offering yourself all the gentleness that you can in these motions and shapes. Letting it be acts of self-care and love and tenderness towards yourself. How can this feel as good as it possibly can? Maybe even massage your body as you hold it here. Then we'll take that leg across the torso again. That knee can stay bent, or you can open the leg up long, whatever you like, and then adjusting the shoulders back so they can rest evenly or as even as possible on the floor beneath you. Arms going wherever they want to go. And this might be a relatively still shape for you, or maybe you move through it. You make micro adjustments here and there with a gentle curiosity. Witnessing the breath. A couple more breaths on this side. We'll inhale back to center, hugging that knee in once more, a little hug, and then letting that leg go long. And one more little swish of the legs. And then finding our stillness, coming into our Shavasana shape, resting the body long on the floor, arms down along the sides. You can have your legs just be long and flat. If it's more comfortable to bend the knees or place a blanket or bolster under the knees for support, you can. Supporting yourself with any props that you like for this final resting pose. And as you come into this place, just once more, bringing all of your awareness that you can into your body and into this here now moment. We can take our attention down through our points of connection with our body and the earth beneath us, feeling those points of contact and the places where we feel space. Noticing how we are supported in this shape. Noticing the front part of our body, that which is oriented up towards the sky. We might come back to that honey imagery and experience. Imagine honey is being poured out over your crown and the whole top part of your body, down through your face, the neck, the arms. This golden light slowly moving honey, rooting you down into yourself and sticking you down to the earth below, moving through your chest, moving down along your hips and legs, melting down through the feet, the toes, the sole of the foot to the heels. Noticing it, moving down alongside the outer edges and the inside edges of your legs. Maybe it even creates little pools, stickinesses as it meets the earth beneath you. Maybe the honey continues melting down into the earth. And maybe as that honey continues to move, it can collect your awareness and pull your awareness down into the earth below, helping ground you down. Feeling the gentle weight of that honey. Feeling that sweetness and simplicity oozing over your whole body, inviting you into utter presence in this moment. No need to be anywhere else. Simply being here in this now. If God exists, he isn't just butter and good luck. He's also the tick that killed my wonderful dog, Luke. Said the river, imagine everything you can imagine, then keep on going. Imagine how the lily, who may also be a part of God, would sing to you if it could sing, if you would pause to hear it. And how are you so certain anyway that it doesn't sing? If God exists, he isn't just churches and mathematics. He's the forest, he's the desert, he's the ice caps that are dying. He's the ghetto and the Museum of Fine Arts. He's Van Gogh and Allen Ginsberg and Robert Motherwell. He's the many desperate hands cleaning and preparing their weapons. He's every one of us, potentially. The leaf of grass, the genius, the politician, the poet. And if this is true, isn't it something very important? Yes, it could be that I am a tiny piece of God, and each of you too, or at least of his intention and his hope, which is a delight beyond measure. I don't know how you get to suspect such an idea. I only know that the river kept singing. It wasn't a persuasion. It was all the river's own constant joy, which was better by far than a lecture, which was comfortable, exciting, unforgettable. Of course, for each of us, there is the daily life. Let us live it gesture by gesture. When we cut the ripe melon, should we not give it thanks? And should we not thank the knife also? We do not live in a simple world. Bringing your attention back to your honey body, your little sweet cocoon, outside to inside, and inviting movement back, stretching fingers and toes. A sigh of breath, a stretch through the side, a wiggle, stretching out arms and limbs. As you're ready, rolling yourself over onto one side, being here. And then again, as you're ready, making your way up into a seated position. And we'll close our practice today with our closing peace song. The words are Om Shanti 3 times, which is peace in Sanskrit, Om and peace 3 times in English. Bringing our hands to heart center, coming back to our intention as we come back to ourselves in this moment. And take a breath in full and let it go. Inhaling for Om. Om. Shanti, Shanti, Shanti. Om, peace, peace, peace. Wishing whole wellness to each of you as you go forward into your days and evenings, as we all move forward into our collective day and evening, sunrise and sunset. Thank you for sharing in this practice with me today. Namaste. The poem at the end of our class today is by Mary Oliver. It was parts 2 and 3 from her poem At the River Clarion. Thank you for your presence here in class today.
Thank you,
Thank
Sam.
you. That was a great
just
class.
terrific.
You are welcome.